Hey, what's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this Choice TV vid. It's titled "Why Clarence Will Never Marry Queen Naija." The truth. Damn. Okay, we're gonna see what's happening with these people. Side note: the rest of the videos for today will be over on my second channel, D Reactions. Link down below. Check it out. Go subscribe over there. Join the community. All that. But let's see what Choice has to say about Queen and Clarence. Let's watch.
Some viewers may find this disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, my love. No, I'm kidding. Hi, my love. It's Destined Choice and you're watching Choice
he got my
TV.
food today.
So for today's video, I'm here to talk about Queen and Clarence rack. Now, I haven't made a video about Queen and Clarence rack in a very long time. I'm eating Ethiopian food. Because as you guys know, Queen and Clarence rack are just boring as hell to me. I don't watch their videos at all. I don't keep up with them. And I stopped making videos about them a long time ago because it's just repetitive nonsense. We all know what it is, and we all know how these couple channels who exploit and glamorize their relationships usually end up. Now, I first started making videos about Queen back when, y'all remember when her ex, Chris, cheated on her and publicly embarrassed her? Yeah, that time. I made videos about Queen a long time ago, back when, her and her ex, Chris, were in a very public relationship, where relationship goals and everything. And I remember I made a video back then where her and Chris, y'all remember that? When, Queen was out here scamming people, and Queen was out here pretending that she was going to be selling iPhones with Chris, and then they ended up not selling the iPhones, and they just scammed all their fans.
6 iPhone 7s, and then they'll go for $500 each.
I don't think it's fair that they can just keep living their life scamming people, stealing people's money. Like, it's not right. And we just want them to know that they're not going to get away with this and that they just need to send us our money back.
Had them thinking that they was really selling iPhones and they ended up making thousands of dollars off of that. She was a scammer and people just forgot about that. I also made videos back when, her ex, Chris, used to cheat on her all the time and he was out here sucking on transgender and fucking on transgenders and shit. And also, remember when Queen faked the whole miscarriage and people just forgot about that? Y'all remember that?
Hey, I'm a woman. You can't say you're pregnant, though. I don't do that. I am, but I still gotta go back in the week, so you don't know.
Look at that. Y'all saw that? Look at her. Why her eyes shifting? What you looking for, bitch? Some iPhones you ain't never sell?
It would be a difference if the baby, if I was 6 months pregnant or 5 months and I seen my belly bump and stuff, and something happened where the baby couldn't make it, but in this case, the baby really didn't even get to develop yet.
Bro, look at Chris' face.
Anytime soon.
Look at Chris' face.
Hopefully, I just don't be out in the middle.
Look.
I don't know, nowhere filming or something, and then all of a sudden, blood just comes gushing out, because that's what happens when you have a miscarriage. Sorry for people who
know this bitch lying.
Stuff like that, but that's what happens.
He knows she lying.
It wasn't like it was anything planned. It would be different if we were trying to plan for a child.
Right.
It just happened out of nowhere. I'm not really,
Why
really that
still
sad about it.
Yeah, Chris's pull-out game was
in the
just
car
too weak, I guess.
And if you guys look closely, Queen literally has the fucking oxygen tubes in her damn nose.
In the car?
Why? Because the hospital allegedly let her leave with the oxygen tank in her car. Now explain to me how the fuck that makes sense. Queen was like, yeah, y'all. And then she ended up taking the hospital gown home, and she ended up pretending that she had a miscarriage and had a whole oxygen tank. Y'all remember that?
No, I don't. That's crazy.
Me either. Now, Clarence Rack, if you guys didn't know, pretty much came in as a rebound, and he swept Queen off of her feet. He was a great support system for her. His older sister managed Queen, and overall, they were just really good to Queen. Queen was constantly leaving Texas because she was tired of Chris, and she was flying out for work, and then also going by to go see Clarence, and she was staying with Clarence and everything. And it was just a really big deal for her because she felt like she finally found her person. Eventually, she dropped her song, Medicine. The song did tremendously well. Queen saw amazing mainstream success, and Queen just overall became a massive coming-of-age story. Queen was one of the few influencers during the late 2010s era who really saw mainstream success off of YouTube. She was just a complete inspiration, and I'm really happy for her because, again, not many people get to make it big off of being an influencer the way she did. Personally, I don't know about y'all, but she could have probably surpassed or been on the same level as an Amy Winehouse or even a Whitney Houston. Probably could have surpassed them.
Now Troy.
Of course, Queen's lazy, and she definitely didn't get that far. Even though things have slowed down, Queen is still pretty popular, and she's still doing pretty well for herself with a nice, cute cult following. However, Queen and Clarence have always been questioned and side-eyed because, as we all know, a lot of people questioned if Clarence was really into her like that because it was pretty obvious that Queen pretty much put Clarence on. Now, before Clarence was a celebrity, as we would like to look at him as, Clarence was sleeping in his parents' basement. He had a small little clothing line selling t-shirts, and he had an Instagram following for taking shirtless photos and showing his prey. You know, the typical Instagram model. He was just overall a pretty boy on the internet. Queen saw him, found him attractive, and she taught him everything as YouTube, social media marketing, making money on the internet, and so much more. However, it was very abundantly clear that Queen was the breadwinner because she really did put him on. You know, she moved him out of his parents' basement, put them both in a nice house, and even though that's an amazing thing, and I feel like if you are in a relationship with somebody, you should be elevating with them and they should be elevating you, that was beautiful because, again, they're in a relationship. However, so many years have gone by, they now have a child, and she did have that child within a few months of being official with him, and a lot of people are kind of side-eyeing Clarence because he has yet to propose to Queen. And the reason why this conversation has come up again is because Queen and Clarence were doing a advice segment on their YouTube channel, their joint YouTube channel where they were discussing couples, relationships, and advice and much more. Basically, they got to a question that a fan asked them, and basically it involved, how would they feel if you were with somebody for a long time and they never proposed?
After 10 years? 10 years?
10 years is crazy.
One of those
that talks about me. 10 years?
After 10 years, and if you've been doing everything you could do, honestly, I just feel like a man knows. I just feel like he knows. He knows if you like.
What would you do in that predicament?
I would leave.
After 10 years?
Yes, I definitely leave. 10 years is crazy.
48. You don't know how old that lady is.
Babe, your life is not over at 48 or 50. I've seen 50-year-old women. J-Lo is past 50. Like, it's beautiful women out there. You can still get yourself. It's never too late. I don't think it's too late.
It's never too late. I'm not saying it's too late. I'm just saying I think that would make it a little more difficult. Yeah, you just don't know what she's in because you gotta understand. In order to put yourself in her shoes, like you're saying it easy, like, oh, I would leave, but she hasn't left, obviously, because she's been there for 10 years. So she's not leaving for a
But if that's something that you genuinely like really want, and if you find out that your partner like has no, first of all, like he said, see if he has intentions of doing it. Have y'all ever talked about it? Like,
he might not. I'm not gonna lie, he might not. 10 years, he might not.
Yeah, but if that's something that you want, but maybe he doesn't want, then maybe you need to break up with your boy.
And as you guys can see, it seems like Queen took this question very personal because she was essentially, making it very clear, if you don't propose to me, I'm leaving. And just from the way Clarence asked her, what would you do? That's usually a red flag. That's usually a sign that Clarence just wanted to see what she would say, just so how you can know how to move accordingly. And honestly, that's usually a big, big sign of a manipulator. Anytime you ever deal with somebody or date somebody or talk to somebody and they ask you, what would you do? Like, what would you do? Like, how would you react? Like, you ever done that before? Like, what would you do if I did this? That's usually a way of them seeing what they can get away with in the future. So always just remember to just never reveal your hands.
But also, when you give men ultimatums, and I'm not saying she gave him an ultimatum, but when you're like, oh, at this certain point in time, I'm gonna leave if we're not married. And of course, 10 years is a long time. That's a whole different conversation. But I'm just speaking about the ultimatum conversation specifically. When you do that, I feel like the guy, he feels pressured to marry you. And even if he does fold and decides to get you a ring, that's not coming from a genuine place. And I feel like that's not a good way to start a marriage. And as they're talking, it just reminded me of my cousin. I'll be talking about some people in my family, whatever. They don't watch my videos, okay, like at all. So this is a safe space. And I'm not saying which person that I'll be talking about anyway. But my cousin, she was married to her man for, I don't know, X amount of years. I don't know how many years exactly. But she definitely gave him an ultimatum. Like, okay, it's been a while. If we're not getting married, then I don't want to do this anymore. So he ended up proposing to her, and now they're divorcing. So I just don't think that's a good thing to do. And obviously there could be other factors. I don't know the details of their marriage per se. I've heard some things. I don't know, all the details obviously, but I'm just saying that I feel like that was already very shaky grounds to start a marriage on. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave if we're not about to. I don't know.
or tell somebody what you would do.
And there's just this whole marriage conversation is just tired. It's goofy. I hate it. I hate everybody because people we're so brainwashed as a society. It's embarrassing. Like nobody thinks for themselves. It's all based on what you're told and what is the societal norm. And okay, I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to do this. So this is what I'm going to push for. And you need to marry me. If not, then I gotta go. And that, like, it's just a whole bunch of goofy bullshit. Because I'm even thinking about their particular case. If I was her, I wouldn't even want to marry him. If you're the breadwinner, you got most of the money. I don't think that's smart, honestly. And I know men do it all the time. That's y'all goofy business. Then whatever. But when men talk about how they don't want to get married, they don't see the benefit or the privilege, I understand what the fuck they talking about. And I feel like you have to be in the position to understand what people are talking about to understand it. All right? And I don't think there is much benefit to getting married when you are the fucking breadwinner and you're making significantly more than your partner. And yes, she put Clarence on and he's making his money or whatever, but I don't know. It's sounding like she's still the breadwinner and she's still making most of the money. Like, I just don't. That don't sit right with me. As I get older and as my wealth increases, I'm like, this ain't seeming smart to me.
Or tell somebody what you've gone through in the past, because they'll just eventually throw it in your face or find a way to maneuver around what you've been through in the past. So that just told me everything I need to know. And again, most of us could be looking too deep into it, and most of us are probably like fucking bored and boring and probably just need to focus on ourselves. But the reason why people are concerned about this is because a lot of us can sometimes reflect on this. Let's be honest. How many of us have been in situations where people have wasted your time? No one should be out here wasting their time, because imagine wasting resources, time, trauma, energy, introducing someone to your family, and they never really popped the question with you. And he made it very clear, I'll do what I want when I want, and it's none of y'all business.
One thing about me, I'm just always gonna step about my shorty, man. That's the mother of my kid, bro. About to be my wife, gang. Y'all should already know that, bro. Just because I haven't popped the question yet doesn't mean I'm not gonna marry her. All of that is none of y'all business, though.
And I understood and respected that, but to be honest with you, his reaction was just very telling during that Q&A, because again, why haven't you married her yet?
We don't know the details of their relationship either. Okay, listen. And this is coming from somebody who's been in a very long-term relationship. I've been in a couple, actually, but I was in one that was pretty long, okay? And there are a lot of complexities that come into being in a fucking long-term relationship. And there are things that goes on and it makes you feel like, wait, do I want to marry this person? People are so quick to be like, oh, you should know after the second year whether you want to marry somebody or not. When people say that, you're telling on yourself that you've never been in a long-term relationship. And honestly, I feel like when a lot of people say that, they ain't been in a relationship, period. All right? A lot of people be yapping and talking a lot of shit online when it's like you have very limited dating experience or very shitty dating experience. Like, I don't even trust what you're saying, because what you're saying doesn't make sense. Being with someone long term, they are very likely, and I'm not speaking about my own situation, because again, I don't want to talk about my own personal fucking business, but it is likely that a person can change, okay, completely. And you won't know that until you are with them for a long time, okay? A person they can be a certain way for a couple years, even a few years, 3 years, 4 years. They can be a certain way. And then a major life event could occur. Someone could pass away in their family, or they can, face mental health issues or whatever. Something could occur in their life that causes them to completely change. We change and evolve so much as human beings. So you thinking that, 2 years, you should know if you want to marry them. No, I think that people should give it time, honestly, to really try to understand who this person is and see how they're going to change and evolve. After a year, or are you dumb? Like, and then you stuck with them in this fucking marriage, this legally binding contract. It's just a lot that goes into things. But trust me when I tell you, when you are with someone for a long time, you are going to witness them changing. And it could very well be for the worse. And you be like, oh, actually, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be with you long term. Oh, hell no, I don't like this. I don't like what I'm saying. This is a fucking deal breaker now. I'm dipping. I'm out. So some people have that mindset. But also when you're in a very long-term relationship, like, you get to rocky parts in your fucking relationship. That's a given when you're in a long-term union like that. And you don't want to fucking get married and propose when y'all beefing or y'all going through it, or things are a little rough, or you may be having certain life events that are taking up a lot of your time and that are very distracting, career changes. There's so much that could occur that would push off a proposal or a marriage. It's like, even if you got to a point where you're like, okay, this could work, stuff happens. Like, we don't know what's happening with their relationship. So I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, well, why he ain't do it by now? Like, and again, this whole conversation about marriage, I find it very, very goofy. So I think they should do what makes them happy and do what's best for them. But anyway, let me start running my mouth.
Basically made it very clear that he's taking his time, but what else do you need? And the reason why I don't think Clarence is going to marry Queen is because, let's face it, he's never going to marry that girl. He's never going to marry her ass, ever. And the reason I know he's never going to marry her, he might do like a little proposal.
But even if they don't, because that's on pause, who cares? Like, if it works for them, who cares? The fact that people think that marriage means anything is crazy. And of course you can talk about, oh, well, you know, for religious purposes or whatever, cool, sure, great. But when I say mean anything, I mean as far as like the success of your relationship or the happiness, it literally doesn't improve any of that. If y'all are already not in a good place, getting married is not going to do anything to improve on that. Getting married does not improve anything in your relationship. It doesn't make you happier. It doesn't do anything like of value, in my personal opinion. But of course, it's the norm in society, so it's expected. And of course, it has its tax benefits. You know, there are some perks, you know, to a certain extent, I guess. But yeah, people just really act like, oh, getting married is the end all be all and you need it in order to be happy, when there are so many miserable like married couples. To be honest, I haven't met a happy married couple. Maybe if they like just got married and they're like they just fucking left to make honeymoon, maybe they may seem happy in the moment. But long-term couples who have been married for years, the ones that I've come in contact with, the ones in my family, the ones that I've met, I've had like mutual friends of and whatnot, none of them seem happy. So I just think it's so interesting and so ironic how it's pushed so heavily as if, oh, this is the fucking cure to life and this is what's going to make you happy, when it's like, it doesn't though. So why do we push it so much on other people and ourselves as well? Like, I just think this mindset is just so wild and it's so common.
Video, like a cute little proposal video to get millions of views and get posted on blogs, but they're never going to get married. I mean, think about it for a second. Why would they get married when Queen gave him everything he needed? Queen gave him a platform. She put him onto money. She gave him great opportunities. He got sponsorship because of Queen. He gets great interviews. He got tons of views on his little struggle rap career that he eventually put a pause on. He did so well for himself. Why would he want to marry? What benefit does he get out of that? So he's never really going to pop the question for her. And plus, there's already been allegations and rumors of him cheating on her. I mean, if y'all didn't know, Chris has a personal channel. Yes, Chris, Queen's ex, has a personal YouTube channel. And basically, a woman went live basically a year ago, and she discussed how Clarence is out here cheating on Queen. Now, for some reason, Queen's ex Chris reacted to a video of somebody accusing Clarence of cheating,
and she was like, "This one right here saying that's why she said that's Clarence isn't the only one that she smashed. She smashed another dude. That's the dude that they went and that she was smashing before she smashed Clarence."
Soon as he leave the man of the house, he go cheat. The least you can do is be faithful.
I know you're fucking lying.
That's the least you can do.
Shut up.
She take care of the bills, pay you, buy you jewelry, buy your cars. The least you can do is keep your little picks in your pants. Pissing me off. Get your money back from him. How you gonna take the man of the house money for your own pleasure when she out there working hard, going on tours, this and that, and you just stay at home and you go. This is new to me, y'all, too. I'm in shambles right now.
Even though Chris, Queen's ex, is a troll and he's obviously probably bitter, He definitely dropped some hints that a lot of people didn't pick up on. On top of that, while he was dropping hints, Queen was still actively texting him. So it's just like little stuff like that tells you everything you need to know. He's constantly saying things like, she's the breadwinner, she paid for everything. It seems like Chris knows something that we don't know, and I feel like it eventually is going to come out one day. If they got married, they would just be wasting paper. Most of us already think of that. When you go on a date with somebody and you take somebody out or someone takes you out, you already know, oh yeah, my mom would like him. Oh yeah, my dad would not like him. Oh yeah, my friends would not like him. Or my friends would definitely like him. Or, oh yeah, you already know. So you already know who to take seriously and who not to take seriously. So it kind of applies the same way for a lot of men who decide to pursue women. They already know if they're going to marry you or not within a couple of months of even being with you. You build a man up to eventually leave you. And I came across this TikTok that perfectly describes why everybody's warning Queen. And the reason why people are warning Queen is because of a situation like this. You give too much, it'll eventually be your own demise.
I'm so done with relationships, y'all. Like, I'm in my 20s. I see what the girlies mean by in your 20s live, because I'm in my 20s and I've been trying to be perfect wife, perfect girlfriend, perfect mom, and I just been, holding a nigga down for 2 years, and I don't got shit to show for it but a baby. Granted, I love my baby, but bitch, a baby and bills, extra bills, because I was being dumb buying a nigga a car, and now I'm stuck with the car. So now I was like, I don't want no nigga. And if I get a man, I don't want no man who don't already got his stuff together. And I mean shit all the way together. Like, I mean, your shit better not stick. Because I just can't do it no more. I done played build a nigga. I done build a man workshop too much. Too much to my liking. And you keep trying to build a man and it just don't work. Because they never gonna get it. Matter of fact, if they don't do it when y'all first start, or if you see they start slacking when y'all first start, girl, go ahead and give it up. Because they ain't gonna never do it. They're gonna think you asking for too much. And that's real. That's coming from experience.
Clarence didn't have much. He had a family structure. He had his basement, he had his t-shirts, and he had his Instagram. But he didn't have much compared to what Queen brought to the table to him. People also got to take into account, it's not just the fact that Queen doesn't love herself, why Clarence isn't going to marry her. It's also this. Queen's family does not like Clarence.
You got the nerve. You really do.
Her family's toxic, though.
She just bought you a Corvette, right? Why you make her cry on Christmas? You ain't think we knew about that, did you? Yeah. As good as she been to you, Clarence, you made her cry on Christmas? It's supposed to be a holly jolly time, right?
So if y'all didn't know, Queen has a little sister that's like 19, 20 years old. And Queen's little big sister went on Instagram 5 years ago addressing the fact that Clarence is controlling and Clarence is always putting shit in her head and so much more.
It's supposed to be a holly jolly time, right? You made her cry on Christmas? As good as she been to you? You should be kissing her feet. I see the stuff that you do. While she on live, you seeing her breath stink. You belittle her, and don't nobody see it but us. But we so toxic. I'm the bad guy. When I see the stuff that you're doing, and it's being swept up under the rug.
Two things can be true.
And y'all think I'm gonna be quiet because some fans. No fans can shut me up.
I'm sorry you gotta go through what you gotta go through. I apologize for what I put you through. But this nigga not right, bro. For real. He not, sis. Like, you, bro, bro. Only thing I could do is pray, but niggas not about to get on here and make me look like the enemy.
And not to say her family's innocent, because Clarence even exposed the fact that Queen's little big sister stole his credit card one time to buy a good amount of things.
Balenciagas, I ain't swiped for no Nikes or no Delta. But I ain't swiped for it because I'm broke. I ain't swiped for it because I needed it or wanted it. I swiped for it to show you that you're not about to disrespect my mama at the hospital and get all in her face like you about to fight her, bro. Period. You still got an ass whooping coming. Don't come to Detroit. I said what I said, period as fuck. I ain't never got to steal, nigga. I ain't never had to steal. Simple. But I did that to show you something.
And on top of that, Queen's little big sister made it very clear that a big reason why they don't get along with Clarence very much, it has a lot to do with the fact that Clarence made Queen put up a boundary. Clarence doesn't really care for Queen's family that much. He got to know them and doesn't care for them. And that made Queen's family not care for him very much because they feel as though that he controls Queen's money and tells her what she should and shouldn't do with her finances. Ironically enough, Queen is also buying this man Corvettes, nice shoes, designer clothes, nice vacations. She pays probably for most of everything because
and y'all want her to marry him? Where's the common sense?
Her family doesn't like that. Her family doesn't like the fact. So it really seems like everybody just pulling Queen in one direction, and everybody just mad because they want to benefit off of Queen even more. And it seems like Queen doesn't know how to adjust her boundaries. On top of that, Queen is also managed by Clarence's sister. So keep that in mind. Queen is managed by Clarence's sister, and Queen has also employed some of Clarence's family members. So the fact that she put him on and his whole family on, it really just goes to show you that maybe there's some jealousy between Queen's family and Clarence's family.
So more tension is just being built up. Other things that were happening were like things that people didn't know about. Sometimes she would get angry and even text Lee and, tell her she felt like they were trying to take me away or like divide her family. And both times that it was done, Lee and my mom had spoke after, and Lee explained to my mom that it wasn't, like that, and that she was only just trying to be there for me. She was basically explaining to my mom the role that she played, like manager and accountant. Like she would never try to tell me what to do with my money as far as like when it came to my family. Like, first of all, that's another thing that I hate seeing. That I let Clarence and Lee tell me what not and what to spend on my family. Like, that's definitely not true. If any decision I make is because I made the decision, y'all. Now, a lot of people say that I'm like being controlled, and then I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I really sat back and I examined myself and I said, dang, well, am I being controlled? Do I let people's opinions make me do something I don't want to do? I really sat there and thought about it, and then I came to the conclusion that I'm not being controlled. Now, I am submissive in my relationship. I'm submissive in my relationship, like, towards him. I'm all prissy acting and things like that. Like, a lot of stuff that y'all see me do is, like, when I act shy, like, kind of... I'm just, like, submissive. Like, it don't mean that I'm sad or I'm being controlled or manipulated or anything like that. One thing...
They don't like him. They did at some point because he was a cute guy, he was young, he was hip, he was brand new to her life, and he was way better than Chris, or so they thought. However, they did not like Clarence anymore because they felt like Clarence was controlling Queen. Basically, Queen's family basically used Queen as a cash cow. Queen was always their support system, and Clarence put Queen in a predicament where he made it very clear to her that she needs to start saying no and setting up boundaries with her family. Now, eventually got to a point where her man started getting in her head, and we know how that shit go. We've all been through that. We've all had friends. We've all had relatives, family members, people we know personally. When they get a man, they start switching up and acting different because they got somebody in their head influencing their actions, influencing them to stay home, influencing them to say no, influencing them to do certain things that they wouldn't usually do because that's their partner who they're always laid up with all the time. You're eventually going to listen to them because you don't want to piss them off and start an argument. So Queen's family does not like Clarence. They've made it very clear in numerous YouTube videos, and her siblings have also made it clear. On top of that, Chris had the same issue.
And as men and as females, and it's natural to start adapting to different things and start to change when you grow. I've been with that girl for 5 years, so I started to grow. Then I was getting into it with her parents all the time, and it was just, and then I would literally cry, bro. Like, I was so hurt, bro.
Chris said it very clear that at the end of the day, if the family don't like you, it's never going to work. If your man's family don't like you, it's not going to work. If your girl's family don't like you, it's never going to work. It's always going to be some conflict. It's always going to be some issue. And it may work for a little bit, but eventually it'll fizzle out. And it's either going to be one thing. You're going to end up having to distance yourself and cut your family off, or you're going to end up having to get rid of that partner that you're with. But I was done with this video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yikes. Seems like there's a lot going on with the situation. The sun is going down, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. But I pretty much said everything I had to say during this vid. So I don't have anything else to add. But I wish them the best. I hope they can just focus on their relationship and not let other outside voices who don't even know what the fuck is happening with them, I hope they don't let those voices affect their relationship or affect their decisions. They have to do what's best for them, and only they know what's best for them, you know? Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye!